Talk Shoes.
Recorded live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 38th installment of the Villain's Corner on Friday, November the 13th, 2009. My name is Robert Paul Shelley. I do the comic Paul's Closet, paulscloset.com. Also co-hosting with me is Roy Duncan from the comic The Villain Next Door on Drunk Duck. Here on the Villain's Corner podcast, we discuss all things webcomics. Also, each week we have live interviews from some of the web's most talented artists and successful webcomic creators. If you'd like to join in on the conversation, the phone number is 724-444-7444. Caller ID is 31632 #. And with us tonight we have Tony Kinnard, a.k.a. Electro of the comic Negligence. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. A little nervous.
Fantastic.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, there's no reason to be nervous. You're one of the
We're
regulars.
We're just going to crucify you. You're the sacrificial lamb tonight, boy.
Most of the people that don't know, he's one of the regulars. He's on here every week without reservation, pretty much, on the line, and you join in with the conversation. And, of course,
right.
We appreciate that.
And he also has a really pretty mouth. You got a pretty mouth, boy.
Don't make me squeal like a pig.
No, don't.
Yeah, we're going to take the stigma out of the 13th tonight and have some fun with this one.
I didn't realize it was Friday the 13th until you said it today, actually.
Now, there you go. Now you know. See? We're educational, too.
Choosy, Moms. Choose the villain.
Now, where did you come up with the name Negligence for your comic? Why is it called Negligence?
Well, it started as it all started in the summer of 2008. At the time I was working at a college newspaper, and I had recently terminated let's just say I quit. Easier way of saying it. And I was in a summer class in the middle of 2008, and I just started doodling some little characters, and it's like, I might as well make a comic strip based on these guys, because one of my biggest influences is Calvin and Hobbes, but I hadn't shown that off enough with my own comics, and I'm always saying, Calvin and Hobbes, my biggest influence, and okay, where is it? So it's like, why don't I make a comic strip about kids? But I don't like putting adults in there, so let's have it focus on the kids and have the adults hardly ever appear. And originally I was just going to call the strip Dranik because, well, it's one of the main characters, but that's incredibly lazy, just naming a comic strip after the main character, like one of the main characters. And I thought, what's the prevalent theme behind this comic? What's the prevalent theme that's going on? And I thought, we got a parent here who's negligent, and it's mostly dealing with what the kids are doing on a normal day-to-day basis, like negligence. There we go. Let's use that as a title. That's pretty much how.
Well, now I was reading it. It said something like the kids were neglected, and then they got adopted by the same person. What's that all about?
It started as I've always had it in mind that Dranik and Lizep would always be like the new arrival. Dranik's been in this kind of negligent household for a long, long time, and Lizep would be a new arrival, and Dranik and Lizep would kind of like fall for each other, because that was another reason why I changed the name, because like Lizep is as much of a main character as Dranik is, so why should Dranik have all the top billing? It should just be called Negligence because they both share the role of being the main character.
So this is sort of like Marcia Brady and Greg Brady under the same roof.
In a way, yeah.
When
I actually,
yeah, there's nothing funnier than incest and child abuse. That just.
Actually, the idea I had was, I don't know if any of you guys have seen the Royal Tenenbaums, but that whole sequence is like, the sister's adopted and the brother's kind of attracted to her, but it's kind of like hidden for years and years and years, and it just festers and boils. Well, I figured same sort of thing, but let's just have happen right away instead of waiting years down the road. That was kind of the idea behind that. And it's not really hinted as much in later comics that they're like, according to the state, they're brother and sister. They're just more like, they're friends, they hang out and such.
Right. Yeah, but even in some of the newer ones, it seems like you got a little bit of a dynamic going on. The girl is, she ain't sure if she's really attracted to him, but at the same time she is. She's sort of confused, so it seems like you got a little bit of drama going on there as far as that, is concerned.
Well, that's kind of the thing I always wanted with Negligence. I knew from the start, I wanted it to be like like the old comic strips that would have like a story arc for like several weeks to close to a month. I figured let's do that as like the primary format of Negligence. Have a story-based comic strip, which there isn't too many of, especially on Drunk Duck. Most of the time, if it's an ongoing story, it's like in a book format, and if it's a strip, it's like a gag a day sort of thing. It's like, let's try something a little bit different. Let's try something that they usually only do in like the newspapers, and it's kind of rare for a web comic to do. And I figured, considering the main theme of it is neglect and just abuse and just kind of like this alienation from the world, there's always like this dark theme behind the whole comic, and there's some comedy in there obviously, but there always was kind of like that dramatic undertone to it. And in later strips, I try to build that up more and more. In fact, I work so far ahead, it's like now I'm thinking, maybe I'm going a little too serious with it, and I need to go back to the comedy a little bit. It's kind of an odd balance, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do it best.
Well, now, how about your fans? What do they think about that, though?
My fans seem to think that... Well, most of the fans I have are people that log in on here. What's his name? Legolas? I can't remember the number he has after that. He always comments on the comic, and I always promote the comic like on the Drunk Duck forums, and it seems like most of the people who are fans of the comic, they seem to enjoy like the writing, just the characters themselves and how the characters are different. There's a bit of a dynamic, and they also like that it's definitely kind of like a cute kind of style, cute and simple, but the writing works sort of thing.
But you do have your own webpage. That was one of the things I noticed. You're not just on Drunk Duck, you're also on BraveHost, or BraveNet, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I had that set up a long time ago. I actually set that up before I ever went to Drunk Duck. I had Negligence on there. I started it in 2008. And then I realized, I'm not getting many viewers here, and I'm not sure how to get more readers involved because I really want people to see this. I work pretty damn hard at making this comic strip. And it's like, I need to get people to see this. And I asked a friend of mine, it's like, you know of any, like, webcomic, webcomic forums or something so I can inform people about this? And it's like, yeah, sure, there's this one site called Drunk Duck, and I checked it out, and it's like, this might work. So I decided to sign up and put all my comics on there and have it's better organized that way because I'm not very good with HTML code and stuff.
Right. Well, now, are you? Do you have like mirror sites like Smack Jeeves or anything like that where you're uploading regular on that, or are you just pretty much exclusive to Drunk Duck now?
Well, I started a Smack Jeeves page a little while ago, and so far I've only got like first 101 comics up on there. I'm trying to get it so that it's at the same number of comics that's on Drunk Duck, and I've been updating that every Saturday since I logged in on there. Once it gets up to, because I'm putting like 50 comics up a week, and I figure once I get all the comics up to the current one on there, it'll upload simultaneously because I have it set up on Smack Jeeves where the comic image from that is actually the comic image from Drunk Duck because I really didn't want to like load the image again because it's kind of a bitch resizing all that stuff to fit in the right way and such.